Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to look at the 2023 predictions for Aries moon or Mesha Rashi. In 2023, there are going to be three transits whose combined effects you will feel. What are those transits? We will start with Saturn, then Jupiter, and finally Rahu Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are shadow planets in Indian astrology. Okay. But before getting into 2023, let's look at two key planets that are causing a lot of problems to Aries people in 2022, and some of those effects are going to continue in 2023 as well. What are those two planets? They are Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu came into these positions during April 2022, and ever since that, you have been feeling the adverse effect. If you see what I have indicated, these are the 12 houses, and what those 12 houses signify have been indicated. So just by looking at your screen itself, you will be able to understand how you are going to be impacted, what effects are you going to feel, right? So that is why I have given it in this particular format. So if particular planet, let's say Ketu is here, it is going to impact the seventh house, whose significations are spouse, partnership, and other things. Suppose if there is a planet that is impacting the eighth house, things like secrets, suddenness, those things are going to be predominant, due to that particular planet influencing the eighth house. That is how you can read what is there on your screen and decipher for yourself more than what I am talking, right? So let's understand the impact of Rahu. Rahu is a shadow planet. It's a planet that brings a certain level of darkness wherever Rahu sits. So Rahu is going to create some kind of darkness in your mind, okay, because this is where your moon is posited, and which is why you are called as Mesha Rasi or Aries moon, right? Whenever Rahu is there, along with your moon, right, that is when it transits moon, you will lose a sense of calm and composure. You will feel irritated, you will feel confused. Some of you may even feel depressed and may experience some kind of fear, and very few people can experience some kind of phobia also. What is a phobia? Unexplained fear, right? Irrational fear. Anxiety and phobia fall under the category of irrational things, right? If you use your rational mind, you can decipher that nothing adverse is going to happen, but you tend to think that something adverse is going to happen, right? So that is an irrational thing, and irrational things are best done by Rahu. Okay. So this is what you have been experiencing in one form or the other starting April 2022, right? And what Ketu is doing, seventh house is the house of your relationships, especially your relationship with your significant other, like husband, wife, and stuff like that, right? It also indicates business partnerships. Wherever Ketu is there, it creates some kind of break, because Ketu is essentially a spiritual planet. It's an antithesis of what we want in our material life. It creates heartbreaks, okay, creates distance between, you know, a girl and a boy's relationship, or a man and a woman's relationship, right? Or a husband and wife relationship. That's what Ketu has been doing. You would have experienced some kind of dissatisfaction, disagreements with your significant other or your spouse, right? So this is going to continue for some more time, actually till September 2023. Okay, it's not going to go away, because Rahu and Ketu take 18 months for transit, right? So now coming back to the Rahu, the core Saturn transit. Saturn is transiting from 10th to 11th house on 17th January, right? So 11th house transit is considered extremely positive. In fact, it is considered as the best of Saturn transits. So Aries people can definitely experience increase in gains. Some of you may get married, some of you may buy a house, buy a car, right? Generally, life is taking off. Some of you may start a new business. Your savings will improve, right? At the bare minimum. Let's say you're going to buy, something, and your say bargaining. You may get a better bargain when Saturn is in the 11th house, right? A better bargain means money saved, right? That is also a kind of gain, no? So at the very least, you will get a better bargain when you go and buy something. That is guaranteed by Saturn in the 11th house. If your horoscope is good, you can experience life really taking off on fast lane. Okay. So because what I am bringing to you is general predictions. The next transit is the Jupiter transit. That is also good for Mesha Rasi people. Remember what I was telling about Rahu and Ketu, right? You experiencing confusion, some kind of phobia, and problems in relationships. All those things will get significantly addressed or significantly reduced starting 23rd April, because Jupiter comes here and Jupiter actually gives its benefic influence on Rahu. Okay, so that is actually good. Either Rahu alone or Jupiter alone in the first house is generally not considered good, but the combination of the two in the first is considered good, and you will start experiencing good things. You will get your clarity back in your mind. That itself is a big win, right? That is what Aries people can look forward to in 2023, specifically starting from 23rd April. This is date and this is month. Okay, it's 23rd April 2023, and your relationship with your spouse or significant other, business partners, will also see a vast improvement starting 23rd April. By the time it starts showing results, it could be May as well, or some people may experience from the first week of April also, right? The last transit is, of course, the Rahu and Ketu transit, which is hugely beneficial. The planet that has been giving trouble are Rahu and Ketu, and they moving away from the first and seventh, because Rahu and Ketu move in the anti-clockwise direction. All the other planets move in the clockwise direction. They move forward. Rahu and Ketu move backward. Okay, and this transit is there on 30th September, and that is also good, right? You can experience improvements, when you're dealing with overseas entities, right? As I said, Rahu moving out of first is a huge deal. You will get clarity. Your clarity will improve manifold. Okay. So in all, 2023 looks good in the second half compared to the first half, especially the last 3 months. You will see a lot of improvements. Okay. At the same time, I want to highlight that towards the end, the last 3 months, you need to watch out your health, because Jupiter in first house can cause issues in health, but it will improve your relationship with children, relationship with your partner, and even with your parents, because from first house, Jupiter aspects the fifth, Jupiter aspects the seventh, and Jupiter aspects the ninth as well, right? So all these things are good, but it takes a hit in the first house, which is you, right? Because this is body and it's also mind, right? So body takes a hit, and there is good probability for your health to suffer. Okay, what is the extent of suffering? Is it a case of you getting an occasional flu, seasonal flu, or is it something that's going to impact you significantly? That will depend on your natal chart. So take care of your health, right? If you can take care of your health, 2023 second half will be lot better, and you will enjoy 2023, because this Saturn 11th is a hugely beneficial thing, right? It happens once in 30 years. Okay, as I mentioned already, you can expect good gains. At the least, you will get a better bargain. Okay. So, what I've shared thus far is a generic prediction. And what I've tried to do now is to bring some element of specificity in prediction. For this, I'm relying on planets that already exist in your natal chart, in your 11th house. Why I've taken 11th houses? That is where Saturn is coming, right? So if there are planets already in your natal chart, what does it mean? Okay, that's what we are going to see now. When I say planets already are there in the 11th house, what I'm trying to say is, when you were born in your 11th house, there might have been planets. So what I'm covering now is applicable only when there are planets already present in your 11th house, that is in your natal chart. That is, when you are born, planets were there in your 11th house. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is the transit Saturn interacts with natal planets. When I say natal, what is there in your birth horoscope, right? They interact and produce some special effects. And that's what we are going to see, whether they are positive or negative, right? We will start with Jupiter and Venus. So for people who already have Jupiter and Venus, it will be a case of huge material gain. Okay. Transit Saturn interacts with Jupiter and Venus. Significant material gain. These are the people who will say that 11th house transit has been extremely good. Okay. The next one is Mercury. If Mercury is there, right, transit Saturn will interact with Mercury and help you in creating new trade businesses, starting new ventures, new startups, right? At the same time, you need to watch your speech, because Mercury is the planet of communication. Saturn brings certain element of trouble in your speech. Watch out for that. Okay. The next one is Saturn. If Saturn itself is there, okay, what kind of experience you can go through? There is already Saturn, and the transit Saturn interact with it and causes significant change. Change is not easy, right? As in the case of this butterfly, right? It is like it's a new birth for it, right? From the time it was an insect to the time it started flying. That's the kind of change, you will experience. Maybe you get transferred to a completely new place, right? You may not like it in the beginning, right? Let's say you have a family, you have small kids, you need to take care of settling down, you need to find a house, you need to find school admissions, right? You need to get into your rhythm, right? Until then, life is extremely troublesome. You may even feel, why this change for me, right? And let's say this change happened because you got a promotion in your job, right? Promotion in job is good, you're going to get higher income, but along with that there is huge change, right? So that is something you need to watch out for. Another change is, you under getting retirement, you get a formal retirement from working. That is also change, so significant change will be on the cards. And change, during the course of the change, when the change happens, you will ask the question, why am I going through this? Okay, that's Saturn plus Saturn for you. If there is Rahu, Ketu, Mars, some kind of fight, some kind of quarrels can happen. Need not be physical fights, even verbal fights. Okay, if Ketu is there, some kind of break can happen, right? Please watch out for that. Okay, all related to profession. Rahu is there, okay, you can experience some kind of lack of recognition. A junior person can come and ask, you may be an expert in your field, a junior person may come and ask, hey, what are you doing? Your job is not up to the mark. How will you feel? That's what Rahu can do. Rahu is also a dark planet. If Rahu is already there, Saturn entering, it will create some kind of trouble related to gains. Okay, you may even experience some kind of loss, because two dark planets in 11th house is not considered good. Okay, now along with Rahu Ketu, okay, Rahu Ketu, Mars, and you have Sun. This is Mars. Okay, I hope my handwriting is legible. If these four planets, if one or more is there, it normally indicates trouble. We generally say Saturn transit is good. Okay, we generally say Saturn in 11th house is good, but if any of these four planets is there in your 11th house already, it is not considered good. Okay, because Saturn doesn't like the presence of these planets. Okay, in fact, Saturn considers Sun and Mars as the primary enemies. How will you feel in the presence of your worst enemies? Very bad, right? That's how Sun feels. That's how Saturn feels. Sorry. Okay. If you have Sun, it can lead to ego clash with superiors or father. At the same time, it can also result in promotion in job. Okay, Saturn denotes higher positions. You can get higher positions. So that's how you need to take specific predictions as far as 2023 is concerned. So what I covered in the first half of the video is a fairly generic one. What I covered in the second half is more certain level of specificity in prediction by taking into account planets already existing in your 11th house. For this purpose, I have taken only Saturn because Saturn spends a long time, in a particular Rashi or house. So the opportunity for Saturn to create significant impact is obviously higher, right? Because it spends long time there. It can go deep. It can unearth things. It can uncover things that are normally not seen, right? So Saturn gets that opportunity. Other planets do not get that kind of opportunity, right? If you spend time, in a particular area, you will dig more, right? You know more about that area. So similarly, Saturn also gets that kind of opportunity, right? So in all, I wish the best of luck for you and a very happy 2023. Thank you.